From the campus of the University of Alabama, live, local news. From Alabama's home team, this is WVUA News at 10.
Welcome to this special split edition of WVUA News at 10. I'm Tamika Alexander. Tonight, we continue our special coverage of the 2-year mark since the April 2011 tornado.
And I'm Daniel Sparkman. We're live at the Hokkaido restaurant in Tuscaloosa on 15th Street, one of the many businesses in this area that was destroyed on April 27th. More on that in just a moment. But first, our focus tonight is on the Holt community of Tuscaloosa County. Most of that area was destroyed or damaged by that tornado on April 27th. And in the 2 years since, little has been rebuilt while the efforts are finally starting to begin. We'll take a look at the Holt community back on April 27th, 2011. Residents told us that 4 people were killed in a mobile home park on Crescent Lane on that fateful day. All across the area, homes were demolished, automobiles slammed into trees, into the side of hills as well. Holt Elementary School was damaged, forcing students to move to another school in the county system. Fast forward 2 years later, recovery is finally starting to get underway in the Holt area. A few storm-damaged houses still remain, but businesses like the Lucky Dollar and Brown's Nursery are back up and running. WVUA spoke with Tuscaloosa County Probate Judge Hardy McCollum, who says the county is working on getting good infrastructure back up and running. He says that the county is currently working on 2 road projects and building a new community center in the area. A grant has also been approved for a new sewer and water system in Holt. McCollum says once there's good infrastructure, the people will follow.
One of the problems we've had in the Holt area is there's so much of that was rental property, uninsured rental property, and therefore it hasn't rebuilt. And then, of course, whenever there's areas that doesn't have sufficient infrastructure, namely the sewer system, prevents some coming back.
In Holt, trees and homes were once in abundance, but ever since April 27th, they've been few and far between. But a resurgence is finally starting. WVUA's Victoria Sheehan was in Holt today, and you caught up with some folks down there, and one family especially who just had such a good story that we wanted to share with everyone.
Absolutely. We had a chance to actually talk to the Rancher family back in 2011, and I actually caught up with them again today in Holt. And, you know, they lost everything in the tornado, but it's a good story because 2 years later, they're back in Holt. Their home is rebuilt, but as I found out today, the community around them is still struggling.
They say time heals all wounds, but for some communities, the clock ticks just a little slower.
Every day, when I wake up, look out the window, when I walk outside, it's a whole bunch of stuff that reminds you of that day. And also, we had a total loss in that day. It's a day that we'll never forget.
Tamika Rancher and her family, like many in Holt, had to rebuild from nothing. WVUA was there in July of 2011 when the family was still picking up the pieces. 2 years later, the Ranchers have moved back to Holt.
My roots are out here in Holt. I was born and raised out here in Holt. My family is out here, and it just meant so much to us to come back to this area. That's why we made that decision to come back to Holt.
There are only a few neighbors who have returned, but the ones who share the emptiness of Holt now also share a spirit to bring the community back.
Before the tornado, you had a lot of greenery, you had a lot of trees, you had a lot of homes, and that was before the tornado. But now, if you come down Crescent Ridge Road now, you barely can see. You have no street lights. You see all the houses that are still standing that have been affected from the tornado that half torn down. It still looked like a tornado hit just last week.
I would just like to see the state or whoever responsible to come in and clean up and just, bulldoze some of these old houses down and cut the grass and just clean it up out here. Holt has a lot of potentials, and I wish they would just come out and clean up.
While they wait for Holt to recover, they haven't changed their mentality.
You just have to keep faith, keep hope, and stay prayerful. You have to just believe that everything will just work out as long as you believe. There's always someone that cares, and just talk about it.
Well, this Saturday, Holt is having a special remembrance for the tornado victims and their families. And they really encourage you to join. It's going to be at Soma Church in Holt. That's Saturday at 5 o'clock. It's going to be rain or shine, and we'll give you more information on that too tomorrow. But Daniel, I also want to say I spoke to other Holt residents today, and all of them just wanted to say how blessed they felt. And even though that community is, a little slower getting back on its feet, they all just wanted to say how happy they were that they're alive. So it was really great to talk to them.
Yeah, and I know over the last couple of years that we've done a number of stories on all of the organizations like Habitat for Humanity, along with Nick's Kids. I remember that. They've built some houses out there. So it's a slow comeback, but things are getting going.
But things are getting going. And, the state actually bought some of the land where their neighbors used to be. So they're unsure right now who all is actually going to return. But they're just really grateful that they have that place. And it really is beautiful out there in Holt.
All right. Well, thanks, Victoria. Of course, we'll keep everybody up to date on that story. Now, another person from the Holt area that was affected by the April 27th tornado lost some of his family as well. And we'll have that story. WVUA's Travis Leader was met up with Willie Turner today. Yes. And his heartwarming story about what all he went through on that day.
Yes, it's getting a lot better for Willie, who lost his wife and son in the tornado, and only him and his son's dog were the two people that were able to survive that storm. But he has learned 2 years after the tornado that he just needs to wake up every day and look at the bright side of things. Here's the story.
I miss him a lot. It hurts pretty bad when you wake up in the morning and don't see nobody.
Losing his wife and son brought a void in Turner's life that he will live with for eternity.
I tell you what, you got a wife and son and all that, you better hang on to them, hug them every day. No, I ain't got that yet. Till my time comes.
2 years later, Turner keeps in contact with his family constantly, and despite going through knee replacement surgery, he continues to enjoy life.
When you laugh and smile and all that, people like you and everything else. It's nice to smile. No, don't look back on that hard time. Like the tornado, I don't look back on it.
And April 27th isn't something Turner thinks about. His desire is to take advantage of every new day he can spend with friends and family.
It is. Just another day. You can't look back on the past. You gotta look forward. Be happy about it.
Now, Turner says he spends most of his days spending time with his daughter and sister's family, and one of his biggest thrills right now in life is watching his two grandchildren grow up. So, Daniel, it seems like Turner is in much better spirits these days.
Yeah, it's good to see people who are finally coming out of it and able to move on with their lives.
Yes, it was good to see him smile as well.
Well, that's good. Appreciate it, Travis. Well, the city of Tuscaloosa has a lot more coming up for you in the day ahead. Another event planned to mark 2 years since the April 27th tornado. Tomorrow, Alagasco is holding a Lighting the Way dedication at J.C. Park. They're going to install a special gas lamp to commemorate the 2 years since the tornado and to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Movement. Well, before we head back over to Tamika, we want to get a check on our forecast. We're approaching that weekend out there. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott joins us now. Richard, can we expect some nice weather to continue through the weekend?
Hey Daniel, good Thursday evening to you. Not through the weekend now. Between now and then, we're looking okay. Tonight, no rain to talk about. 53 currently. Tuscaloosa getting cooler though. You probably noticed that quick drop off of temperatures after sunset. Skies are clear. The air is still dry over the state of Alabama. That starts to change over the weekend. I think some storms will arrive Saturday and Sunday. Meanwhile, get out and enjoy it tomorrow. Friday looking nice. Temperatures top out in the upper 70s. A good supply of sun. But when will the rain return for the weekend plans, and how much rain is going to stick around? Your forecast is coming up.
On your Crime Watch, an update on the West Alabama church arsons. A Centerville judge has set a hearing for a church arsonist wanting to get out of prison early. Matthew Lee Cloyd has been serving an 8-year federal sentence and a 2-year state sentence for admitting to burning 9 churches back in 2006. Now he wants out. But District Attorney Michael Jackson says Cloyd needs to serve his full sentence. His co-defendant, who participated in 5 of the fires, Russell Lee DeBusk Jr., got out of prison last year. Benjamin Mosley, another co-defendant, remains in prison. Chloe's hearing has been set for August 5th. Now to news from the Alabama legislature. Republican leaders in the Alabama Senate Council plans today to take up the state education budget and a pay raise for teachers. Senator Tripp Pittman says Republican leaders decided to postpone both measures until next week. He says some senators wanted more time to study the budget and some wanted changes in the pay raise. The governor originally recommended a 2.5% raise. The House later approved a 2% raise. The Alabama Senate also has started debate on proposed changes to the Alabama Accountability Act. The proposed revisions showed disagreement among GOP senators over exactly who should be eligible for the tax credit program designed to help families transfer out of failing schools. Senators said this morning there are discussions about what changes to make, including whether current private school students should be eligible for the tax credits, and talk about changing failing schools from the bottom 10% to the bottom 5%. And a bill that will allow the state to partner with a private developer on a hotel and conference center on the beach at Gulf State Park moved closer to becoming a law today. A House committee approved the bill, which has already passed the Senate. The House of Representatives could give it final passage next week. The hotel and conference center would be built on the stretch of beach where the Gulf State Park Lodge stood when it was struck back by Hurricane Ivan in 2004.
And welcome back to this special edition of WVUA News as we mark the 2 years since the April 27th tornado. We're here inside Hokkaido Restaurant, which was one of many businesses that was destroyed or damaged on that day. And thankfully, at least in my opinion, thankfully they've reopened. Joining me now is one of the managers of Hokkaido, Jason Lord. And Jason, this beautiful restaurant, love it. Absolutely. So if you could just talk to me a little bit about the restaurant and what all you guys have here.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than the other place, more modern and updated. We were able to bring back a lot of the chefs we had from before. Brand new serving crew. Sushi is still top notch, if not better than before.
Oh, absolutely. I would say, as a loyal customer, I enjoy coming out here because I really do think that you guys have felt the passion of the community. And the day the reopen happened, there was just such an outpouring of people, of the community coming out.
Oh yeah, a lot of regular customers that literally wouldn't eat hibachi until we reopened. So we were welcomed with open arms. Very big turnout the first weekend, and it's continued to grow. You know, new customers, old customers, we're getting a lot of people coming in.
And what does it say to you guys that as the community supporting you like that? What does it say?
It definitely gives us a sense of pride. You know, that we develop a good product, but the biggest thing is we take care of our customers very well. And it definitely shows. A lot have come back, and like I said, old customers, new customers. We have people that even drive in from Columbus, Mississippi, just, to get good sushi and to, check us out and check on us, see how everybody's doing.
And just as a part, what does it kind of say about the entire area? A lot of the city was destroyed or damaged on April 27th. So what does it say to you guys that the community gets behind all these businesses like this?
I think it's phenomenal. I mean, I think the city of Tuscaloosa has done a great job as far as, helping us get reopened. And a lot of other things as far as I had a lot of customers come and check, on some of the people. One of our owners was actually affected, was in the hospital for a few days after the tornado. And from what I heard, a lot of people came, just to check to see how he was doing. And, a lot of people check back with us periodically, see how much longer until we did reopen.
I know. Let's let these guys get a look at what's going on the grill here. But just as we're still talking, it was that sense. I know there was a Facebook group, and just everybody wanted Hokkaido to come back, and you kind of touched on it before, but there was just that great pride. So what is the work atmosphere for all the employees here, knowing that pride is in there?
Well, a lot of the employees, like I said, weren't with us before as far as the serving staff. We have a lot of customers that will request a particular chef because they've known them from the old restaurant. Serving-wise, we're doing a lot of new things as far as training our servers, making sure that they realize the customers are first, and you know, letting the chef do his job, but then at the same time still taking care of the customers.
And real quickly, what is it like business-wise? Have you heard, is business better here than before?
Well, business is better for one reason. You know, we've got extra grills than they had at the other place. We have a lot more square footage than the older restaurant had, and more grills. We actually, you know, have granite tops on the grills and everything. You know, so we're trying to get as modern as we can and more of an elegance to it than before.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that says a lot. You know, people come in, you know, not just your typical Japanese restaurant, but you know, with the updates that we did, you know, backsplashes and you know, different modern things that we've done to the thing. It really helps us out.
And that seems to be what all the businesses in this area are doing, trying to step it up one extra notch. Well, we really appreciate you joining us and, of course, letting us be here.